It is coming up on 8:40 Newstalk Sauga 960. Raw Mike Richards, along with David Bastl. In just seconds, we're going to talk to Jared Greenberg from Prairie Sticks Bat Company. Now, I think a lot of them, and certainly Jared would be up in the Red Deer area. I think Lacombe might actually be where the company actually is. Prairie Sticks, once again, is the name of the company. Pretty cool when you figure out most guys. They obviously they see bats, they've used bats, but they have no idea what it takes to actually make these things. Certainly at the high level that these guys do. So we're going to join Jared right here. Good morning, Jared.
Hey, how you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Now, is the company Lacombe? Where are the bats actually made? Where's the factory?
We're just located just west of Red Deer. We used to be located in Lacombe, and then with the pandemic hitting and baseball not happening for a year and a half, we had to downsize and move locations, and I guess that was our quote unquote pivot for the pandemic. So
don't you love it?
Red Deer and a little bit closer to where home is. So.
Well, in that way, it's closer to Sylvan Lake, so you can walk around with your shirt off and with the bats and stuff. I get it. Well, yeah. What a cool thing. But yet people would say, okay, so there you are in Red Deer in Alberta. Why bat making?
That's a very good question. I think my wife has asked me that hundreds of times over the last 2 decades. Not the most I guess synonymous area with baseball. Maybe in the area you guys are in, or even Lower Mainland, Vancouver, kind of the baseball hotbeds in the country. But it was back in about early 2000. Baseball Canada had switched its some of its bat regulations in the senior age division from metal to wood, and I was playing at that level at that time, and we ordered some bats from another Canadian company, and the bats actually arrived after the season was done in September. We ordered them in May, and there was what I was doing for a living at that point really didn't intrigue me too much, and I saw an opportunity maybe to solve a problem in this new market that baseball or Canadian baseball players were going to come up upon, and that was kind of my foray into turning wood bats at that point. And I mean, that was 2000. I guess it was 2002, 2003, and it's evolved substantially over the last 17 or 18 years to where we were turning them by hand, and now we're using computerized machinery to turn all the bats, and really taken up several notches over the last number of years.
It's funny you say that about you order them in May and you get them in September, because I've been in that situation too, where it's like, holy crap, I need this yesterday. I don't need this in 6 months. But your turnaround with some of these bats, anywhere between like a week and 10 days. This is amazing. The process of it, though, when you look at the site itself, and definitely listening to this interview, check out prairiesticks.com. It's so fine detailed that, like, I play ball, obviously I'm well done my ball career at that level, but the infinite detail that you guys put in this is truly remarkable. This is like a diamond.
Well, I appreciate those words. I think it has to do with being obviously around the game for basically my whole life, with amateur players, even up to professional players, dealing with those guys. And I'm trying to basically take what I've learned at the highest levels and, offer that to the amateur, Canadian amateur baseball player. Just the customization, the personalization, and really give them a tool in their hands to give them the best chance at success. And, I think I realized too at the beginning of, when baseball started to open up, especially in Alberta, where, it was beginning a little bit earlier maybe than you guys, that people were just waiting to make buying decisions on their sports equipment. And we just kind of made a decision to, have to work 7 days a week if it came to getting, equipment into players' hands, in a day or two. I know we've gotten orders. I think I was on Sunday evening, we're shipping them out today. So it was maybe it was Monday, in 2 days. And we realized that was what was going to separate us from, a larger manufacturer, like I gave you the story about, waiting several months, now we're into, a couple of days, right? And that's just a commitment we made to our customers to, to get them stuff ASAP, because it was just obviously a different season, a different time. And, in like this whole pandemic. So we just had to adjust our manufacturing a little bit, and just keeping that player at the the forefront of everything.
Now, Jared, would you also work, say, with Vauxhall Academy and so on? I mean, it's not further south than where you are, but I've known about that program for quite some time, which is actually a really good one. Are they people that you would be in touch with, I'm guessing?
I've talked to like the academy specifically that you're referring to. They actually signed a deal with a different manufacturer that does gloves and uniforms and things like that. So they've, even though we've talked to them and done a few things like with Prairie Baseball Academy, which is in Lethbridge, Vauxhall specifically goes their own way with some exclusivity deals.
Now, when you're looking at this, and people are probably listening here this morning, they're wondering the process itself, because you hear these stories, or you watch The Natural, and a tree lightning hit a tree, and the guy goes to the tree. I'm going, these guys who talk about, wow, I made my own bat. Yeah, well, that'd be terrible. So what does it take to actually make a real bat that's usable?
Well, I think in our case, being a smaller manufacturer, probably about $250,000 in machinery.
Right.
Like I said, I think in this day and age, we're not in the business of turning bats by hand anymore. I mean, some guys do. Don't get me wrong, it happens. But like I said, we use computerized machinery where if you order a bat today, you're going to get the same thing in 4 or 5 years when you order the next one. We have the ability to copy and paste different profiles, or copy a bat that you may like from a different manufacturer. Even getting bats to within 2 or 3 tenths of an ounce, from starting from all these billets over my shoulder, a 6-7 pound billet that it starts out with, getting it within several tenths of an ounce to the player specifications. We have the whole process is dialed into a professional player we're getting. Like I said, we were trying to give access to the Canadian amateur baseball player the exact same product.
So prairiesticks.com is the name of the company, Prairie Sticks Co. on Instagram. Fantastic site. A lot of great videos on it as well. It's crazy because you have more options at Prairie Sticks than you do if you go to a car manufacturer and want certain colors on the handle and the shaft, or how big you want the knob. It's so high tech. I wanted to ask you, maple, birch, ash are the 3 big ones. What's number one? Is it maple by a long shot? Because in my mind, I think, maple, of course it is. But is it?
Yeah, it is. It's I haven't really done a specific count, but I would say 90 to 92% of what we do is all maple. Birch, takes up, let's say, 6%, and the ash would just be the remaining. Here and there. I think ash, I think it used to be the most popular wood back in the day, and it's just kind of evolved into maple bats that are just harder. Ball flight distance is increased with that species of wood, and that's pretty much the only thing we turn now. That's just what the players are asking for.
Well, when you look at the mechanics of a baseball swing, and very often there are certain sports where you can, because of tempo and a lot of other things that go into it, and maybe the most popular one that people would know, of course, is a golf swing. So when you get fitted for a driver, are we talking about a similar sort of exercise when someone's taking a look? Like, for instance, the speed of someone's swing, the guy's size, how quickly he wants to get around. What goes into the swing that changes the way the bat is made?
Yeah, typically I ask, obviously the size of the player, and I think the strength of the player, especially as they're getting older and kind of growing into their own body and filling out, is a really big part of fitting someone with a bat. And then we get to different feels. Like, each model has its own feel with a taper on the knob, or a flare, or the barrel's a little bit longer and it might feel a little bit end heavy or balanced. So we're just trying to really dial in what the player is looking for, what they maybe have used in the past that they're trying to, something else that they're trying to achieve at the plate. There's hundreds and thousands of models out there, and a little tweak here or there could make the player feel that much more comfortable at the plate. And as we've seen, especially on TV, like, baseballs are coming in faster and faster all the time, and pitches are moving more and more. So having, just that much more confidence, trying to hit a baseball with a round bat, round ball, round bat, and trying to hit it square. If a person has that much more confidence at the plate, that's what we're trying to achieve. So, golf, golf club fitting, or even a hockey stick, maybe with a flex a little bit. Honestly, I think, baseball would maybe even, a little bit take it up a notch, where we're really trying to really customize that process for that specific player.
Yeah, having fitted all three, by far a baseball bat kind of fits that, Jared. I wanted to ask you this too. You've been in this industry for a while. Have you noticed, because we always talk about our Canadian men's golf program improving. This is it's getting bigger. The soccer program, we're starting to pump more people into Europe, and that basketball program, we're Olympic bound. I mean, baseball, if anything, baseball might be the most as far as Canadians advancing to the next level. And that's why specific companies like yourself really come in hand, because you need that type of equipment. Are you seeing, like, over the last 2-3 decades, maybe more of an avalanche of Canadians needing a product like this just because of the popularity of the sport?
Yeah, honestly, I think anytime the Jays do well, we just got to get ready for an influx of business. New players start, or players, realize that there's an opportunity. I think even out here west, there's academies popping up with players wanting to play year round, wanting to advance to the next level. And I think it's great. I think you're seeing more Canadians. Obviously, there's less rounds in the baseball draft, but more Canadians are going down south to, get an education and play collegiately. There's a desire to, play for that national junior team that Baseball Canada offers. And I think, with the advent of just, the access to information, we see a lot of opportunities for players growing up to, achieve some of those things, like through other national teams, like you're mentioning. So absolutely, I know there's, I guess if you look at the salaries, I mean, might as well play baseball instead of hockey. It's great.
No question. No doubt about that. Just stand there in the outfield throwing stones at your buddy for half an hour, just and take home a check for $17 million. And there are some nice venues too in Alberta. The Okotoks Dogs, and that stadium down there is fantastic. I mean, on a summer night, that is just a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, even locally, like Sylvan Lake just built a new stadium for their program. Yeah, so there's I think there's about 1,000 seats, and they're adding on to it. So it's just awesome to see what's happening in central Alberta here and throughout the province. Really, I think Spruce Grove is going to build a new facility here in a couple of years. So it's, even a more hockey mad area like we're in here, baseball is really taking a strong foothold into the communities and into our, into our sports culture here. So it's awesome to see, not only from a business standpoint, but, someone who just really enjoys being around the sport.
Jared, we got about 30 seconds left. This has been a lot of fun for people in the GTA across Canada listening to this on the internet and so forth. What's the best way to get a hold of you, to look at the site, to order a bat, and kind of check out where Prairie Sticks is all about?
Yeah, so prairiesticks.com, prairiesticks.com is our website. And you can get a hold of me or just our general inbox at info@prairiesticks.com. Probably the best ways to go about it there. Sometimes it's hard to honestly hear the phone with all the machines going sometimes. So we'll get back to you either way, phone or email. But yeah, that's our home base for online shopping. And I think, like you were saying before, we got lots of stuff to offer on there. We try to make it as user-friendly as possible. But if there are any questions, feel free to reach out.
I think I would get a black bat. I don't know what's allowed or what's too weird, but I'd get like a black one with just skulls on it. Can you have that? Can I get it? Jared, is that wrong? How's that work?
There's maximum 3 skulls per bat.
Well, if anybody knows, it's you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's
That's
awesome.
right. Hey, Jared, thanks so much for this morning. Really
Thanks, guys.
appreciate it. Hey, and best of luck. And look, my fingers are
Appreciate
always crossed for that province because I think it's the best province in the country. And I
Awesome.
also think that, we see a resurgence a little bit from what I'm told in the province. Hopefully, business kind of come back a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to get the economy going because it looks like it's going back up. So, hey, I got my fingers crossed for you. Anything we could ever do for my Albertan people, you just you let me know because, hey, at least we're backing you. We got your back.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
That is Jared Greenberg joining us here. We are talking about Prairie Sticks. And once again, this will go out later today on Twitter. You're going to be able to see this. And if you're interested, and you should be, this is a really cool and great thing. Made Canadian for Canadians. And as far as you want to go, take that bat from Prairie Sticks with you.